Hey guys, what's up? It's Sam, and today summer has ended. So today marks the first day of September. Well, not really, because it's the third day of September. And I thought it would be great to, do a wrap up, because I've never done one of those before. But I was like, Sam, you didn't read much in August because school happened. Then I was like, you're right. You are right. So why not do a summer wrap up? So that's what we're doing. Yeah. First books I decided to read this summer in May was the Dark Elements series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I binge read this. It took me 3 days. It was the best 3 days of my life. It was a great start to my summer. I didn't really like these books as much as I liked the Covenant series or the Lux series. I don't know, it just felt really rushed. I definitely did not care for the last book in the series, Every Last Breath, just because it felt predictable and I was just like, oh, this is okay. But nonetheless, I did like the series. I didn't care for it, but I liked it. I mean, I read it, so. The next book I read after the Dark Elements series is Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. It's kind of like an armoire. It's like a bunch of essays that she's put into this book depicting her life and all this other stuff, like stories. I thought it was really interesting. It was a really light read. I breezed through it. I think I finished it in like one sitting. I'm indifferent with it. I mean, I liked it a lot. I did. But it's not like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever written. I mean, I liked it. The next books I read this summer in the month of May is a reread of the Twilight graphic novels. I was missing Twilight a lot this summer, but I didn't want to commit and read all 4 books. So I was like, you know what? I'll reread the graphic novels. I mean, they're short, they're fluffy. I get the gist. It quenches the craving for Edward and Jacob and stupid Bella. So, the next book I read at the end of May is Shatter Me by Tahada Mafi. Now, I knew what was going to happen because I got low-key spoiled about my relationship with Adam and Warner. So I knew that things were gonna shift. So I was hesitant with picking it up, but I read the first book at the end of May and I loved it. I loved it so much. You don't understand how much Tahada Mafi has climbed in my favorite authors top 10 list. Like, she's up there. It was so good. It was so beautifully written. I loved the wording. I loved the how she scratched out letters, word phrases, and which brings me to the second and third book in the series, which is Unite Me and Ignite Me. I didn't start these until the middle of June. That's because I knew what was going to happen. I was still Team Adam, so much Team Adam. And I knew things were going to shift and I was going to feel something totally different. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to let go. I was like, how can I love this guy and not this guy anymore? But it happened and yeah, I read it with my friend Antavia. We kind of buddy read it, kind of, sort of, not really. And oh my gosh, it was so good, you guys. So good. I was all too happy to switch teams. So happy. And I haven't looked back since. I love the Shatter Me series. I wish there was more. I wish we could have chapter 55 in Warner's perspective and Ignite Me. I just want more. I just want more. That's all I want. Tahada, can you give me more, please? Please. The next book I read was in between Shatter Me and Unite Me when I took that little hiatus because I knew my feelings were going to shift, and that was Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. I loved this book. Like, loved this book. I did it where I read it and listened to the audiobook, which I highly recommend. The audiobook is like a radio drama in your head, and it's so good. Oh my gosh, guys, it is so good. You have to do it. Do it.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
I did that, and it was like the most epic thing that I have ever done. The way that the narrators of the audiobook kind of gave each character their own vibe and their own accent, and it was like you were there yourself on board the ships trying to fight, and oh, it was so good. And the plot twists at the end. Guys, Illuminae is bae. Probably the best book I have read this summer, this year to date, ever. I need Gemini to come out. The next book I read was the beginning of July, and that is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, the first book in the Harry Potter series. I know, guys, I'm 21 and I'm just started reading Harry Potter. Sue me. I mean, YOLO, whatever. I liked it. Shockingly enough, I liked it. I thought I wasn't going to like it just because, I don't know, it's considered middle grade, and Harry is like 11 and I'm 21, and I'm like, I don't know if I can relate, but I did. It was really fun. It was really a light read. I finished it in I think 2 days because I took a break in between because life. But it was really good. I loved it. I laughed. I screamed at it. It was great. It was great. Hagrid is the best. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but the guy who came to collect Harry to take him to Hogwarts, that guy, I loved him. He's so stupid. It was great. It was great. Next book I read in the month of July is A Monster's Call by Patrick Ness, which is turning into a movie, I believe in October when it comes out. I read it because I saw a tweet from John Green about the trailer, and I saw it was like 200 pages, so I was like, why not? I'll just finish it in one day. I finished it in one sitting, and I got emotionally compromised. That book was so good. It was so phenomenal. The way he wrote it, the feelings, the emotions, it was so good. And as a person who can relate to what the main character was going through, I thought it was beautifully written. Everybody should go read it. I mean, it's 200 pages. You can finish it in a day. But it was so good. The next book I read in the month of July is All Fall Down by Allie Carter. I wouldn't say I didn't like this book, but I didn't like this book. I rated it 3 out of 4 stars, maybe like 2 3/4. I didn't care for it as much. I felt it was really predictable. I was expecting more from Allie Carter because I loved the High Society and I love the Gallagher Girls series. But I don't know, it was just really weird, if that makes sense. The characters I felt were two-dimensional. The ones that I thought were going to stick around and help her were just like, meh, they barely were there. There wasn't a lot of character development, I believe. I guess she was saving that for the second book, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to continue with the series. But The next book I read in the month of July was a part of the Booktubeathon, and that was The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. It was literally 30 pages. It was pretty good for 30 pages. I liked it. The last book I read in the month of July is Torn by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It came out in July. I got it release date on my Kindle, and again, it's another book where I don't know how I feel about it. It was different from the first book. There was a lot more, I think, character development of Tink, but as for like the main character and Ren, it was neither here nor there. I did like it. I will continue the series to see what happens because I think it's a really good plot and I think it's heading the right way, but I really think this book was just a filler, to be honest. I think it was just fluff. Just a bunch of fluff with funny things. And yeah. I'm just gonna leave it there. And that brings us to the month of August, which I basically read nothing but plays. School started for me August 1st is when I went back, so I've been in school mode the entire time. And all I've been reading is plays. So the first play I read this month is Eurydice by Sarah Ruhl. It is a modern Greek tragedy, and it's really good. And I'm biased because I got casted as one of the Stones. But I think it's a really good play. I love the character development. I love how the story is centered around Eurydice and her father rather than Eurydice and Orpheus. I love that kind of relationship that it focused on, and how a father's love and a daughter's love for a father transcends life and death itself. And plus, the Stones are pretty they're pretty awesome. Let's face it, they are awesome. The next play I read this month is Spangled Girl by Neil Simon. I am in a directing class this year, so I get to direct a scene from a play and put it on in a showcase, and this is the play that got chosen for my class. It's essentially about these two guys that live together and run a magazine, and one of the guys, Norman, falls in love with the girl who moves next door, Sophie, who's from Arkansas and was an Olympic swimmer, and all about their adventures as Norman screws up her life and she falls for Andy. It's really good. It's really funny. Just Neil Simon is a great playwright. The next play I read this month of August is Crimes of the Heart by Beth Henley, which I have to read for my scenic design class. I have to create a set for this play, so we had to read it, and I didn't like it as much. I mean, it's a great play. I mean, it's been done many a time. It wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. It was a little slow at the beginning. It took a while to pick up, I think, around it's 100 pages. It took around page 60 for things to start picking my interest or taking my interest up or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was pretty cool. That is it, guys, for my summer wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to get notified for whenever I make videos, click the red subscribe button down below. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. And I will see you next time. Have fun. Don't die. I believe in you. Bye!